How would you like to quickly get 1,000 streams on every new song you release on Spotify? Well, keep watching because I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. Hey, I'm Reagan Ram with OrpheusAudioAcademy.com, helping you make better music and grow your fan base online. And today we're talking about how you can get past that dreaded less than 1,000 indicator on your streams. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can get past that and actually see some numbers next to your song on Spotify. So first off, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a plan. You don't just want to release songs willy-nilly. You want to have a strategy in place, and you want to be working on promoting your song long before it's released, at least a few weeks. Ideally, this all starts by uploading your song to your distributor, whether that's DistroKid or something else, so you can get your music on Spotify ready to go at least a month ahead of time. And this is because of tip number 1, which is to pitch your songs to Spotify editorial playlists. Now, if you don't know, there are 3 types of playlists on Spotify. There are user-generated playlists. These are playlists that are just created by people like you and me that are using Spotify. They create playlists, they make them public, and then anyone can find them, listen to them, follow them. Then there's algorithmic playlists, which are generated by Spotify's algorithm. These are things like Discover Weekly or Daily Mix, Release Radar, and so on. And this is where Spotify looks at people's listening habits and creates curated lists, playlists of songs for them to listen to. And the third type of playlist are the Spotify editorial playlists. These are created by real humans at Spotify that listen to music and put together their lists of songs. These are, a big one is like Rap Caviar that most people are familiar with. That's an editorial playlist, but there's a bunch of other ones. And if you are, have a Spotify for Artists account, which if you don't, be sure to grab that. I got a link in the description below that walks through how you can get verified on Spotify so you get access to Spotify for Artists. And once you have that, then you can actually submit your music to the Spotify editorial team for them to review and potentially put on playlists. Now, your odds might not be very great of them actually saying yes and actually putting your music on a playlist, but it doesn't hurt at all to submit. So you always want to do this. And again, you want to do this early because the more time you give them, right, they get thousands of songs every day. So the more time you give them to listen to your song, the greater your odds of them actually listening to it, actually liking it, and actually putting it on a playlist. So I would say, get your music uploaded a month ahead of time, and then as soon as you're able to, submit that song to the editorial team. Now, tip number 2 is to build an email list. This is so vital for just building a music career in general. But when you have an email list of fans, now you've got a built-in, streaming machine at your fingertips, right? You could just have, people on social media, but the problem with social media is, number 1, these social media platforms are designed to keep people on their platforms, right? In their ideal world, people would stay glued to their phones or to their computer to the point where they starve to death because they forget to eat because they're that addicted to these platforms. Because the longer people are on their platforms, the more ads they can see and the more revenue they make as these social media platforms. So what that means is any link that goes off of social media, they are going to crush, right? Organic reach is already so far down as it is. You put a link out there to Spotify, it's not going to be seen by hardly anyone unless you are spending money on ads. Plus, people in general, when they're on these social media platforms, they themselves aren't all that willing to leave. People are kind of in the social media mindset. They don't really want to leave and go off to somewhere else in general. So you kind of have a lot of resistance built up there to any link to Spotify that you're posting on social media. This isn't the case with email because people are conditioned to click, and when they receive an email, they're conditioned to actually click through and take action. There's all kinds of data. I've did another video I'll post in the description below that breaks down why email is so vital for music artists and how it's a much better tool. People are much more likely to take action and much more likely to actually do the activities you want them to do. So when you've built up an email list of fans, you can send them a link to your song, to your pre-save link, right? If you're using DistroKid and some of these other ones, you get a pre-save link so that people can pre-save the song before it's released on Spotify so that when it is released, they get notified, they can go and stream it, and you can get a bunch of streams right away. And so this is only possible if you have that email list, so you're guaranteed that your fans are going to see it, right? Now, you're not everyone might not open the email, everyone might not click through and do the activity, but you're going to get a lot more people listening to your song and actually going through the Spotify when you are using an email list versus just social media. Now you might be saying, okay, email sounds great, but how do I get people on my email list? Well, good news for you. I've already done a video all about how you can grow your email list. And so I'll link to that in the description below. All right, so we're still at about 4 weeks before your song goes live. It's time to start building buzz on social media as well. Yes, there is a place for social media still, but you're also going to want to share the same kind of content with your email list so that you're getting them excited too, so that when the song is released, they're expecting it and they're ready to go click and they're ready to go listen to it. So start putting out pre-launch content, right? I kind of think this as this pre-launch period. Your song release is kind of like a launch. And so you want to put out this content to build buzz and get people excited. So some things you can post on social media or send to your email list are just talk about, why are you releasing this song? What does it mean to you? What inspired you to create it? What's the song about? What instruments did you use? What was the recording process like? What studio did you visit, or did you record it from home? What problems or obstacles did you encounter along the way? And when did you first start writing the song? And this is, of course, not an exhaustive list. There's so many more things you can do. You can obviously post song clips as well and just get people excited and invested in the story of the song so that they're anticipating its release and ready to go listen to it when it is live. All right, so tip number 4 then is to create that pre-save link like I mentioned earlier. And so again, this pre-save link is something that allows someone to save a song or an entire album to their queue before it's released. This is important because it increases the likelihood that your fans are actually going to listen to your song. The more small actions you can guide your fans toward making before your song is released, the more likely they're actually going to follow through and actually listen to the song when it comes out. And this can help you get a lot of streams early on, which is really important for the algorithm. When the Spotify algorithm sees a song is getting a lot of streams in a short period of time, it's more likely to then share that with other people. And so then you can get that snowball rolling, and so you get more and more streams as the song is shared with more people and shows up in more algorithmic playlists. So the important takeaway here is that number of streams is important, but velocity of streams is even more important, right? You can get 1,000 streams spread out over a long period of time, but that's not going to do as much for you as you get that same number of streams in a short period of time. So how to get your fans to then pre-save your song? Well, one thing you might want to do is offer some kind of giveaway. So you could give away a free song or a gift card of some kind, or offer a free service like a one-on-one Zoom call or something with the winner, whatever you think your fans would like. You can offer that giveaway to everyone who pre-saves your link. So then how do you create this pre-save link? Well, if you use something like DistroKid, it's really simple and you can create it in just a couple clicks, just like this. Here I am in DistroKid and this is showing all my releases. So let's say if I go to one of my recent songs, I can then scroll down here to what DistroKid calls hyperfollow. That is the pre-save link that is generated for your song after you have uploaded it. So we'll click visit here and then we'll see what it looks like. So immediately it says Spotify pre-save, and you can customize this as well. So we can click edit this page right here if we want to, and then you get all these different options. You can add a YouTube URL if you want to have like a video preview of the song. You can also share if you want to have audio previews on Spotify pre-save on or not. Obviously you do want that on. And you can add links to other places where people can listen to your music if you want them to listen on other platforms. Same thing with social media links too. You can add these here as well. But obviously, if you're shooting for Spotify pre-saves and you're putting all your focus into Spotify, then you're totally fine just leaving it as is. So we'll click Save Changes, and here we go. This is what our Spotify pre-save link is, and we can go ahead and just copy this link up here to share it wherever we want to share it. Now, step 5, you might want to consider creating a launch team for your album or your single or whatever you're releasing. And a launch team is simply a group of people that are agreeing to help you promote your release, and in exchange, you may or may not offer them some perks. So this could be friends, this could be family members, or it could even be fans from your email list. The only downside to using friends and family is ideally you want these people in your launch team to be people that are actually interested in your music, because you don't want people necessarily promoting your music and listening to your music on Spotify if your style, if your genre of music isn't what they're actually listening to, as that can kind of skew the data for Spotify, because Spotify is looking at who's listening to your music, what other music they like, so it can know who to recommend your music to. And so if you create electronic music, but people who only listen to country music, stream your song a few times, Spotify algorithm might get confused, show it to some people that, like country music, they're not going to like it. It's going to do poorly, and then it kind of shuts down all promotion. So whoever's on your launch team, I would highly encourage you that they are people that are, really enjoy your music. And you can really gamify this experience as well. So say for every new big streaming milestone you hit, you offer an extra 5% discount on merch in your merch shop. And so then people on your launch team, right, they just use whatever skills or audience they have to promote your music. They're promoting it on their social media. Maybe they reach out to playlist curators for you or blogs for you. Whatever you want to do to promote, they're kind of just there to help you. And of course, when the song goes live, they're all going to stream it themselves as well. All right, tip number 6 is to let your fans know about your goal. Just telling your fans, hey, go stream my music isn't quite as motivating as saying, hey, can we get this song to 1,000 streams by X date? This way, you're making your fans kind of feel like they're a part of something. You're all working together, and they feel more included in the process, like you're working side by side versus you being kind of off in the distance, just saying, hey, listen to my music. And again, you can also offer incentives for people to stream as well. So again, if you hit a certain stream goal, say those 1,000 streams, you'll create another giveaway that everyone can enter. Or maybe you'll release a B-side song or an acoustic version, right? Again, the sky's the limit on what you can do here. Survey your fans, get to know your fans and know what they would want. And so that can be really highly motivating to people so that they want to share it, so that they want to stream it. Because once you hit, that streaming milestone, then they get that cool bonus. Tip number 8 is to grow your own playlist as well. So if you're working on growing your own playlist, building up your own playlist that have followers, then you can put your new song on these playlists, and immediately you're tapping into an audience of listeners that can help you boost your streams. Some quick tips on helping you grow these playlists are just creating a very niche playlist that people are searching on so that people can find it in the search bar and follow you. And if it's very niche, right, then it's more likely to build up that listenership of fans that are really passionate about those songs. Then you can go about sharing these playlists in, say, Facebook groups where there's fans of that particular genre of music, or even on Reddit where there's specific subreddits for sharing playlists. Tip number 9 is to reach out to user-generated, user-created playlists. And this is actually ideal to do even before your release, right? If you have other music, and this is something that is going to take some time to build up, but over time, you can start to create your own network of user-created playlists that that you have a relationship with. And so every time you release a song, say these 10 or 20 or however many different playlists, you can just, contact the owners and say, hey, I have a new song. Would you mind putting it on your playlist? And boom, you can get tons of streams right away. And so this all starts with building up that network, with reaching out to these playlisters, with pitching them your music. And if you want to learn how to do this, I actually have a free guide all about how you can get your music on these user-created playlists, and you can grab that in the description below. Another tip, which is kind of related to this, is to reach out to other influencers on other platforms, whether that's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, so on, and especially people that are regularly using music that's similar to you in their content. Reach out to them and see if they wouldn't mind, adding your music to their playlists if they have any, or using your song in one of their videos. Tip 11 then is to collaborate with other artists in your genre that are kind of a similar size as you. And right, this is something you can't really do if you're, getting ready to release a song, but if you're wanting to really kind of boost your streams, boost your audience, and it can be helpful to collaborate with someone on a future song so that when you do release it, right, they're going to be sharing it with their fans, you're sharing it with your fans, and now you've got 2 different audiences working together to increase the streams of this particular song. And by the way, if we're using DistroKid, this makes splitting the royalties very, very easy so that they get half the streaming revenue and you get half the streaming revenue, or however you want to split it, whatever percentages you want to work out. DistroKid makes that very easy. Now, warning, there are some things you might not want to do. And number 1 is having your friends and family stream your song, say like 20 times over. So for example, if you had 50 friends and family all go just stream the song on repeat for 20 times, 50 times 20, that's 1,000 streams right there. Boom, you got 1,000 streams, yay. But again, like I said earlier, if these, friends and family aren't actually really fans of this kind of music and they're streaming this, it's really going to mess up your entire Spotify account, and it's really going to hurt you in the long run. And what are those 1,000 streams really going to do for you? Nothing. You want to build a very healthy, natural ecosystem inside of your Spotify where people who actually like your music are streaming it. You also don't want to just stream your own music on repeat overnight. Spotify could see these as fraudulent and therefore not count them towards your actual legitimate stream number. And I haven't been able to verify this myself, but I've heard other people say that doing this sort of thing can actually get your songs removed from Spotify, and that's definitely not worth the risk. Also, do not pay to get your songs on playlists, as that actually violates Spotify's policies as well and can get you into hot water with Spotify. All right, wow, that is a lot of tips, but probably my favorite one is the idea of building up your own network of Spotify playlisters, user-generated playlisters. These are just normal people like you, like me, who like your style of music and are creating playlists with the same type of music. And so it takes time, definitely takes a lot of work, takes a lot of time, takes reaching out to these playlisters. But once you've built up that network, then you have a built-in guaranteed, listenership that whenever you release a new song, they're going to at least be willing to take a listen to it and potentially add it to their playlist. So you can immediately get those 1,000 streams very quickly, trigger that Spotify algorithm. And so then your song has greater likelihood of taking off and really generating you some decent income and fans. So if you want to learn how to do this, then be sure to grab my free Spotify playlist placement formula guide in the description below, which will walk you through this entire process of how you can identify user-generated playlists, reach out to them, and actually get your music on these playlists. All right, if you found this video helpful, feel free to drop a like and be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any new videos I release on this channel like this. Otherwise, let me know in the comments below what's your #1 tip for getting more streams on Spotify. So have a great day and keep creating.